In the heart of the ancient Near East, when the sun set over the ruins of Jerusalem and the last rays of light flickered against the smoldering remains of the once proud city, a voice rose above the chaos. It was a voice of despair, of anger, and of hope. This was the voice of the prophets, men and women who dared to speak the truth to power, who saw the impending disaster with unflinching clarity, and who, in the darkest moments, held out the promise of restoration and peace. Their words, captured in the pages of the Hebrew Bible, have echoed through the centuries, shaping the spiritual and cultural landscape of the Jewish and Christian traditions. One of the most profound and influential of these voices is that of Isaiah, whose message of judgment and salvation has resonated through the ages. The book of Isaiah is a complex and multifaceted work, spanning a period of over a century, from the 8th century BCE to the post-exilic period. It is divided into 3 main sections: chapters 1 to 39, which are primarily attributed to the historical Isaiah of Jerusalem; chapters 40 to 55, often referred to as Deutero-Isaiah, which speak of comfort and restoration after the Babylonian exile; and chapters 56 to 66, known as Trito-Isaiah, which deal with the challenges of the post-exilic community. Each section reflects a different historical context and a different theological perspective. Yet they are woven together to form a cohesive narrative of divine judgment and ultimate redemption. The first section of Isaiah, chapters 1 to 39, is set against the backdrop of the Assyrian threat to the kingdom of Judah. Isaiah, a prophet of the 8th century BCE, lived in a time of political turmoil and moral decay. The Assyrian Empire was expanding its influence, and the kingdoms of Israel and Judah were caught in a web of alliances and conflicts. Isaiah's message was one of stern warning. The people had strayed from the path of righteousness, and judgment was imminent. He spoke of the coming destruction of Jerusalem and the exile of its people. But he also offered a glimmer of hope. Even in the midst of judgment, there was a promise of a remnant that would survive and be restored. One of the most powerful passages from this section is found in Isaiah 6, where the prophet describes his vision of the divine throne room. In this vivid and awe-inspiring scene, Isaiah is confronted by the holiness of God and his own sinfulness. This encounter marks a turning point in his life, as he is commissioned to deliver a message of judgment to the people. The imagery of the seraphim, the burning coal, and the divine call to service has become a powerful symbol of prophetic vocation and the transformative power of divine encounter. Another significant passage from this section is Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 to 7, which speaks of a child who will be born, a son who will be given, and who will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. This passage has been interpreted in various ways, from a reference to the Davidic monarchy to a messianic prophecy pointing to the future. Regardless of its original intent, it has become a cornerstone of Christian theology, pointing to the figure of Jesus Christ as the fulfillment of this ancient prophecy. The second section of Isaiah, chapters 40 to 55, is often referred to as Deutero-Isaiah. These chapters are believed to have been written during the Babylonian exile, a time of profound despair and disorientation for the Jewish people. The author, or authors, of this section offer a message of comfort and hope, assuring the exiles that their suffering will not last forever and that God will bring them back to their land. The language is lyrical and poetic, filled with images of restoration and renewal. One of the most famous passages from this section is Isaiah chapter 40, verses 1 to 5, which begins with the words, "Comfort, O comfort my people, says your God." This passage speaks of a voice crying in the wilderness, preparing the way of the Lord, and the leveling of the mountains and the valleys. It is a powerful image of divine intervention and the transformation of the landscape, both literal and metaphorical. This passage has been used in Christian liturgy, particularly during the season of Advent, to announce the coming of the Messiah. Another notable passage from this section is Isaiah 53, which describes a suffering servant who bears the sins of many and is pierced for their transgressions. This passage has been interpreted in various ways, from a reference to the nation of Israel to a messianic prophecy, pointing to the suffering and death of Jesus Christ. Its themes of vicarious atonement and redemptive suffering have had a profound impact on Christian theology and devotion. The third section of Isaiah, chapters 56 to 66, known as Trito-Isaiah, is set in the post-exilic period, a time of great challenge and transition for the Jewish community. The people had returned to their land, but they faced new struggles and uncertainties. The author, or authors, of this section address issues of religious reform, social justice, and the long-term future of the community. The language is more practical and less poetic than in Deutero-Isaiah, reflecting the immediate concerns of the post-exilic context. One of the most significant passages from this section is Isaiah chapter 65, verses 17 to 25, which speaks of a new heaven and a new earth, where peace and prosperity will reign. This passage offers a vision of a future utopia, where the wolf and the lamb will lie down together, and the infant will play over the hole of the cobra. It is a powerful image of divine transformation and the ultimate triumph of God's kingdom. The growth of the book of Isaiah reflects the changing historical and theological contexts of the ancient Israelite and Jewish communities. From the 8th century, prophets of doom to the post-exilic voices of hope and restoration. The book of Isaiah is a testament to the enduring power of the prophetic message. It is a story of judgment and salvation, of darkness and light, and of the unbreakable bond between God and His people. In conclusion, the book of Isaiah is a profound and multifaceted work that speaks to the human condition across the ages. Its message of judgment and salvation, of despair and hope, continues to resonate with readers today, reminding us of the enduring power of divine intervention and the promise of a better future.